All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome
Awesome.
to another happy hour in the new year. I hope all of you have had a great, holiday season with Christmas and New Year, and we're all looking forward to a year that is definitely better than the last. For the first new year, for the first session of our happy hour, we have Aditya Madhavan joining us today. He is a B high graded artist of All India Radio. He's actually been a student of Sangeeta Kala Acharya Smt Radha Namboodiri, who is actually was the former, I think, principal and director of Shanmukhananda Fine Arts and Sangeeta Sabha. And he started learning vocal music since he was 4 years old, and he's actually done a lot of things in at such a very young age. But I'm not going to keep talking about him. I'm going to let him introduce himself. So, hi Aditya, how are you doing?
Hi, Yamini. I'm great. Glad to be here. Thanks for having me. Happy New Year to you too. And as you rightly said, I really hope this year is a lot better than last year.
You know.
And yeah,
Tell us a little bit
so
more about yourself, Aditya.
I'm 24 years old. I stay in Chennai right now. I was born and brought up in Bombay. So
Oh,
I finished my formal education and my graduation in Mumbai. I finished my engineering, after which I decided to move to Chennai, and I'm also working here basically. I just wanted to take that out of the conversation just earlier on. So what I do here is I work at a software startup while also trying to pursue music to the best of my capabilities slash abilities. I don't know. And so how all this started is I started learning music when I was a kid back in Mumbai.
mhm.
There is music in my family. My grandfather's sisters used to sing.
Oh, nice.
My paternal grandfather's sisters, all of them were passionate about the practice of music. Some of them also turned into performers at some point of time, but the passion for music was always there, and there's a penchant in at home for music. And
Mhm.
similarly, on my maternal side, my grandmother, she has done a basic course in music, and the basic course itself was very advanced back then because there is no formal structure to musical education as it is today. So even the most basic examinations had like venerable judges like a musicologist, the legendary Shambamurti, Professor Shambamurti. I don't know if you've heard of him, back in the 1940s and 50s. So she also, she was initiated into the practice of Carnatic music. So I think all of that had some impact on me when I grew up. And apart from that,
I'm not hearing you very well, Aditya. I think you may be covering your speaker or something.
is it better now?
Yeah, it's better now. Yeah,
Okay. Yeah. Sorry about that. Yeah.
that's all right.
Uh, so um, so I started going to music classes when I was, I think, 4 or 5 years old. I was just made to sit in the music class initially because just to let the music flow. And this is all the speech that I've heard from my parents about how I started going to music class. And then things got busier. So first it was vocal music, then I started learning the violin and then the
Oh, nice.
mridangam. And yeah, I think those are just offshoots, and I stopped that within like a couple of years. I studied violin for around 5 to 6 years, but mridangam was only for a year.
Nice.
My mridangam sir was this person called Tyagu Mama in Bombay, who was actually very famous for I mean, he was a very popular artist. He's sadly no more now. So the
Oh,
late Tyagu Mama used to, so I used to go to his place for music, for Mridangam classes. It used to be a 1 hour class, and 45 minutes of that would be me just singing because he wanted me to sing. So that used to be my
okay.
that used to be my Mridangam class. Apart from that, yeah, so then music, vocal music, started getting, I'm gaining prominence within my priority list, so it became what I was working on mainly. And then, as people in the Indian education system say, 10th standard happened, board exams happened. So everything automatically takes a back seat, right? So be it any kind of vocational activity or extracurriculars or sport, it always goes to, priority 3 or 4, and uh, academics becomes number one. And so that happened to me. And then, all through the engineering entrance and all that just happened. And after that, once I settled into engineering college, then I had time to look back and caught it where I left the music, and then that continued. And that is when I also started coming to Chennai during the December season, to try and understand what the atmosphere is here. And during my engineering is when I also started learning from Sangeeta Kalanidhi, Shri Sanjay Subrahmanyan sir. So that also started when I was in college. And I think I should attribute the idea of me moving to Chennai to those long discussions we have had post class about how he used to say, you do whatever you want to do in life, but if you want to do music, you have to be here in Chennai. So he actually has an analogy for this. It's very funny. So he keeps saying this. He says, if you want to make it big in Bollywood, right? You can't stay in Trivandrum. You have
Yeah.
to be in Bombay. You have to be in Bombay. So
Yeah.
similarly, if you want to make it big, or at least think about making it big in Carnatic music, you have to come to the hub, which is Chennai.
Yeah.
And even though that may not guarantee you anything at all, you have to be there, and you have to try to understand how the ecosystem works, and what the process is. And this is where you understand where the music is going. For example, what are people doing? Here is the maximum population density of people practicing the art, and there is innovation every day. There are concerts happening every day in every corner of the city. Well, not in the last year, of course, because of obvious reasons, but even before that, right? So because of all these reasons, I said, okay, fine, let's give this a shot. And that made me move to Chennai. So I've been here for the last around 2.5 years. I came here immediately after I graduated. So 1 month after college was done, I moved here. I got a job here at a software startup. So this was actually referred to me by this musician friend of mine called Ashwath Narayanan. I'm not sure if I'm sure you would have heard of him. So Ashwath referred me to this job, and that's why I got here. And yeah, so since then it's been a crazy ride, and it's been fun.
What have you done in the last 2 years? I think it takes a lot of courage to get up and move from a place where you've like grown up and known all your life to go and pursue something in a city totally different from what you know, right? Like, firstly, hats off to you for that courage to do that, and like, how has it helped? Like being in Chennai, like, and how is this? Obviously, this is the hub and it's the scene. Like, what are you? I'm sorry,
Uh,
I'm gonna kick my dog out of this room.
sure.
Yes. So yeah, just tell us kind of, what you're seeing about how what is so awesome about Chennai now that you've lived here for 2.5 years in the music world, obviously.
Right. So to start off with what you mentioned initially, I would say that courage is, I think, just secondary. It's all the support I got from my family that helped me make this decision very seamless. And I think I also attribute it to the fact that music also, people like music in my family, so which makes it very, that's the important factor. They're able to relate to it, which makes them understand that, okay, this has some scope, and it's okay if we can probably help him in doing what he wants to do. And I'm also the only son of my parents, so I think there is a soft corner there. So despite everything else, so yeah. And one good thing about things, working for me is here I have a lot of relatives here in Chennai.
Mm-hmm.
So I stay at my atte's house, my father's younger sister,
Nice.
who's in Chennai, and so it's almost like home away from home.
Yeah.
Even when I was in college, I used to be here in the summer, that is like June, July, for classes with Sanjay sir. That used to be my college mid-semester vacation. And in the winters during December, I used to be here for the season. So,
Yeah.
to almost 1.5 months, twice a year, I used to be in Chennai. So I kind of got acclimatized to some aspects of being here.
Yeah.
But moving to Chennai has been a different experience. Initially, it was different because the cities work very differently, Mumbai and Chennai, right?
Yeah.
So
I can imagine.
the gentle culture is different, and friends hanging out is also different. We used to meet at 11 p.m. back in Mumbai, me and my friends, and here it doesn't it doesn't work that way, of course.
Yeah. Yeah.
But so apart from a cultural shift, right? There is, I think, both are metropolitan cities of India, and they have their own pluses and the benefits and advantages. So, and coming to the industry aspect of Chennai, what I have seen. I mean, my observation is going to be very amateur because there have been people who have been here for years, and they obviously have a better idea of how things work. But it's you grow with the ecosystem. That's what I have come to understand. When you come here, the first thing you do is you understand what is happening. From an outsider perspective, you suddenly start gaining an insider perspective. That's the first thing. When you're in Mumbai, two things. One is you are cognizant of the fact that you are an outsider and the onlooker and you're peeping into the system. And the same is also, for the people who are looking at you from Chennai, they'd feel like, okay, this guy comes from Mumbai every year and saying, okay, and he goes back. And once you make the transition, it's different because now I'm almost, I mean, for the first couple of years, it's almost like I'm just testing the waters, etc. But when you're here, you understand actually what is going on. Like, what do the musicians do to keep the music going? For example, there's the season that happens now. It's extended from, December 1st to January 15th. Earlier, it used to be only from January 15th to December 15th to December 31st. Now there's
Yeah.
an extension. I'm very glad because it gives a very positive spin to everything, because that actually is a marker of the art growing, right? There are
Yeah.
more things happening. There is
Hmm.
more engagement. There are more people coming together to make it happen. So that's one
Yeah.
good thing. Now, but that's just like 1.5 months apart from, I mean, among the 12 months that are there. So what do people do in the other 12 months? So what are the different activities? There are various Tyagaraja Aradhanas happening, and there are Akhandams happening, and we go to different places to perform. And we know that, okay, Bangalore has a season in Ramanavami, Kerala has a season in Gokulashtami, and those things we come to know sitting here. So when it's April, all the artists are singing in Bangalore. Then when it's September, all the artists are in Kerala, and those things happen, right? And how do you build up to the season? There are so many organizations, and we know that every organization has a specialty. Many legendary musicians have their own slot in these organizations, and people look
Yeah.
forward to it. So all this is from an artist perspective. You generally have a checklist when you come here. You say, oh, this is where I'm starting off. Okay, so these are the things I have to do. These are the things I have to see first to understand what is happening. And then from
Yeah.
from an audience perspective, it's amazing because the kind of fervor, the kind of passion, and the kind of appreciation, the love for art that people have in Chennai, it's just brilliant. It's mind blowing. And I think that's one thing that really inspires me, because I feel that, okay, this is the penchant. This is how much people like it, right? So it makes the effort worth it. Apart from the fact that I like doing it myself and I do it for myself, the I mean the purpose of a performer is always two way. It's always also about engaging the audience. And when we understand that the audience is going to be receptive, and that
Yeah.
kind of fervor is present here, that gives me more inspiration to put in more hard work.
Mhm.
And I think those are the biggest takeaways for me after coming here, that these things help me take the art form more seriously.
Yeah.
Because that's what is required. I'm here now, okay, I have a job and I'm also singing. But then what is the difference? This is the difference. Like, this is the increase in intensity that
Yeah.
I've realized within myself. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes a lot
I
of
think
sense.
yeah, I think I've been speaking a lot now. So
No,
over
no,
to
you
you,
make my
please.
job very easy. I'm loving it. Thank you. No, but that it makes a lot of sense, right? Because you're right in the hub, and obviously it's going to be so much more intense. But then seeing the people who are like more appreciative of it is obviously more encouraging to an artist, because at the end of the day, when you're performing and you see that and the audience is enjoying it, that kind of just gives you a lot more motivation to do better, right? So that was very well put. Um, I see, like, in
Yep.
your bio, I did read that, like, since, I mean, in a very short time, you've achieved like a bunch of different awards and all of these things. Like, tell us about some of them. Like, I hear you were like the youngest recipient for one of these big awards that I've heard of. But yeah, for the promising, you got the promising young talent of the year, right? For the Shri Kartikeya Gana Sabha's National Youth Festival. So, like, how have you been, like, going around and doing all this, managing your job, managing this, and achieving so much so short in such a short period of time?
Uh, I think most of what you mentioned is just autopilot. I'll tell you what I mean by that. So I think this happens. I think to all the people who are taking music very seriously, and especially when you're in school and you're in music class, right? The competition fervor is always there. It's like debates or MUNs or very similar to that, right? But only in I think it's almost like sporting tournaments back in school, right? So you're always inclined to go for competitions, make friends there.
Yeah.
So I used to remember. I remember. Sunday mornings, we used to enroll for some competition in some suburb of Mumbai, and we used to pack food and all that because if I eat out on the day of the competition, something might happen to my throat, right? So so precaution. So we used to pack food. We used to go to these competitions. So in Mumbai, there are pockets of Carnatic music listeners and organizations, right? So we have to travel from one place to another. It's not very far away, but yeah, we used to go there, and it used to take the whole day. It used to be a lot of fun, a lot of tension also at times. Oh, okay, this competition is happening, we have to win this, and etc. I mean, the general healthy competition. And we used to and there used to be so much socializing back then, and there used to be a lot of discussions about music, etc. So the awards are just I think a function of that, rather than the award being the center stage of what this is about. It's more about going to these competitions and involvement. That's the good part, because end of the day, the awards, even though it feels good to get an award, it's almost like motivation for doing the next thing.
Hmm.
That's what it is. So that's how I'd like to look at it. So okay, so here is an award to tell you that okay, you need to continue doing what you're doing. You need to scale it up probably. So that also comes with a word of wisdom every time. So
No.
yeah, I think so those awards also happened in the process. I mean, I used to go for a lot of competitions back then, and some of them were, I mean, I could get prizes in some of them, and of course some were, of course, I mean, those things keep happening. But all those awards are just a function of that, is what I feel.
That's nice. That's very nice. And you've also been obviously performing a lot since you moved here. What's been like one like really memorable performance in your life so far?
Um, Memorable. Uh, okay, so this one, I mean, I have a couple of instances. One of them is more related to the logistics of what happened rather than the performance itself. So I had a concert in Trivandrum back in 2019 January. I had to catch a flight at 4:35 a.m.
Oh, wow.
Okay, and so that means that I had to check in by 3:50 a.m. Okay, so I got up at 3:25 a.m.
Oh my God.
So in Chennai, the airport is so the airport is 15 km away. Fortunately, we had, the driver was here, but I said I'll drive, and we made it to the airport in 13 minutes,
Oh my
safe and
goodness.
sound.
Nice.
So, and somehow that happened. So actually, so the problem is Chennai to Trivandrum, there was a flight at 4:35. The concert was supposed to be at some 10 a.m. in the morning.
Okay.
So after 4:35, the next flight is sometime at 8 or something. So there's no chance that I'll make it if I
Yeah.
miss it. So it,
Oh
it
my
was kind
God.
of
That must have been nerve-wracking. Like you drove like in Fast and Furious or something.
exactly. I know. I got the same feel. Yeah. Another memorable experience for me was there was this one concert in Shimoga, which is in Karnataka.
Yeah. Yeah.
This very good friend of mine, Nikshit, he had recommended my name to this organization, and we all had gone there in train, and my throat was in a very bad condition the whole day. And that's because I had some back-to-back performances a couple of days back, and the weather was also changing. So because of general reasons, the throat was not in great shape. But when I finally the got to the hall, and this was Ganesh Chaturthi, so the Ganpati festival, and the curtains are thrown open. There are like some 600 people
Oh
in the
wow.
audience. Okay, so
Oh wow.
so at that point of time, I was like, okay, now we have to do this. And till then I was thinking of not stepping on the pedal, because I thought I'd take it song by song, step by step, see how my voice does, and based on that, I'll try to I've of course had a set list of what I was supposed to sing, but I was going to change that based on how I was feeling. But then that kind of just gave me an enthusiasm and that high that I needed, and from that point onward, so I sang for 3 hours after that.
Oh my
So it,
God.
it was great fun. I think that's very memorable. So and this is only in the 2 years that I've been here. So I feel a lot of musicians in Chennai have far more such experiences. Have sung, they must have sung numerous more concerts than what I have done. So their experiences must also be so lively and vivid, I'm sure. But this is just what I feel were memorable for me.
No,
Yeah.
it is. I mean, I think, we like as an audience member, we don't think about this as much, right? But like, no matter what, the show must go on for like some of these music concerts. Like, so if you get sick, it's so hard to like, because you can't postpone the
Right,
show, you can't do anything, but then you are booked for the show, you have no choice. But like, pulling through that,
right.
sometimes I don't know how you guys do it because it's physically impossible, right? Like if your throat is hurting, how on earth did you pull together a 3-hour concert? That's crazy. That's awesome.
I think sometimes you just the brain takes over, and so that's what happens. There's a nuance in the way the audience perceives a senior artist as compared to a junior artist like me, or an upcoming artist. That's the term used, and I'll tell you what I mean by that. When we go to the concerts, when we attend concerts of the senior artists, right? The point is to have an experience, derive a musical experience out of the concert. Try to so the focus is more on the experience. When people come to listen to artists like me, it's
Mhm.
like, hey, let's see how he does, let's see what he's going to do today. So the focus is shifted from what is the experience itself to, okay, what experience can I get from this. So
Mm.
it's like when you're going to the concert of a senior artist, it's more about, okay, there is a preset expectation of, oh, this is the kind of experience I'm gonna get from this. So okay, I want to enjoy that experience, so that's why I'm attending this concert. For us, it's more like I want to see what experience I'm getting from this concert, right? There's a nuance in the way it's perceived.
Yeah.
Now when put this way, it sounds very, it's a very happy path. But how it affects the psyche of the artist
Yeah.
is that now for me, I have to be there to prove myself, to tell you that, hey, I can give you this experience. For them, for the senior artists, they've put in so much, effort and so much groundwork into establishing a sense of expectation of experience that, they just know that if they cancel the show, everyone is just going to turn up for the next show. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Right? For me, I need to set the expectation first of what is the experience I can provide.
Mm-hmm.
And from there, take it forward. So canceling of shows is an entirely different ball game for both the levels. For me,
Yeah.
it's about one opportunity lost in terms of. I think so. Definitely, I might be overthinking some aspects of what I'm saying right now, but it's what I very strongly feel. So I take every opportunity as seriously, and I take it as they come. But
Yeah.
yeah, I think every opportunity is important, be it like 6 people in the audience or 600.
Yeah.
It's equally important.
Yeah, no, that's very
Mm.
nice. That's very nice. And I think it's true. It's for an upcoming artist, it makes a lot of sense what you're saying. So hopefully people can take that from what you're talking about. But yeah, I mean, I've talked a little bit. Before I go more in detail, I just would love to hear you sing. Like, please sing something for us.
Oh, okay, sure. Just give me a second. Tanpura. Okay. Mm. Da-da-da-na. Da-da-na. கருணை கடலே கருணை கடலென்று காதிற் கேட்டு நம்பி வந்தேன் கருணை கடலென்று காதிற் கேட்டு நம்பி வந்தேன் கருணை கடலை காதில் கேட்டு நம்பி வந்தேன் இரக்கம் வராமல் போனதென்ன காரணம் என் சுவாமி இரக்கம் வராமல் போனதென்ன காரணம் என் சுவாமி இரக்கம் வராமல் போனதென்ன காரணம் ஆறு மருந்தி என்ற உயிரை ஆதரிப்பதுமது கீர்த்தி ஆறு மருந்தி என்ற உயிரை ஆதரிப்பதுமது கீர்த்தி பாலகிருஷ்ணன் பாடி மகிழும் பணிந்திடும் நட்டராஜமூர்த்தி பாலகிருஷ்ண பாடி மகிழும் பணிந்திடும் நட்டராஜமூர்த்தி பிழையத்தனை நான் செய்தின் பாலித்திடும் சிவ சிதம்பரம் பிழையத்தனை நான் செய்திடும் பாலித்திடும் சிவ சிதம்பரம் மொழி கற்றவர் வழியூற்றுணை முப்பொழுதும் மரவே இரக்கம் வராமல் போனதென்ன காரணம் பிழையத்தனை நான் செய்தினும் பாலித்திடும் சிவ சிதம்பரம் மொழி கற்றவர் வழியூற்றுணை முப்பொழுதும் மரவே இரக்கம் வராமல் போனது காரணம் என் சாமி இரக்கம் வராமல் போனதென்ன காரணம் என்ன காரணம் என்ன காரணம்
Yay, very nice. You have a very soothing voice. Very nice, Aditya. Thank you for singing for us.
Thank you.
Like, obviously this is a very different season than you've ever seen. It's your second
Right.
year and you probably had to do a lot of online kind of concerts and stuff. Like, how has that experience been like for you?
Uh, it's been interesting. That's how I would like to put it initially, but yeah. So I think acclimatizing to various circumstances is something everyone has to do at all points of time. So, and it's not just the musicians who have been, I mean, to give you a global perspective, to be fair to everyone in the world, it's not just the musicians or not just the artists who have been, affected. It's basically everyone.
Mhm.
So, everyone has to find out secondary means of getting back into doing what they can do to, I mean, to the best of their abilities. Um, one thing about the online concerts that I feel is that, of course, the experience of the live concert no longer is palpable in that
Yeah,
sense,
yeah.
which is okay. I mean, people are reconciled to that. They understand that it has to be on the screen now.
Mm.
So it would have been slightly tougher for. I've been performing for, I mean, not for very long now. So people who have been performing for 10, 15 years or 20 years now, they would have felt the real impact of this,
Yeah.
of not being able to perform. People who do this all day every day, right? People who sing 5 concerts, 10 concerts a month,
Yeah.
they are the ones who have been really affected. So from a personal point of view, so from a community point of view, definitely a hit. From a personal point of view, I haven't felt the impact because of this reason.
Mm.
Now coming to what does the internet or what does the live or what does the online experience offer is that sorry about that. So
That's
first of all, it's the I mean, let's talk about the good things. It is accessible to everyone,
Mhm.
possibly with no time constraint, with no spatial constraints, and you definitely have the ability to curate your own content, which is, I
Yeah.
think, by far the biggest advantage of having an online setup is you can curate every second of it. You can produce every second. You can control the experience of every second. So that's the thing, right? When you're singing live, what you do is what you do, right?
Yeah.
It's like when you're playing. Suppose a batsman is beaten while he's playing cricket, for example, or or a tennis player serves a fault. That's it. You can't do anything about it. Serve. But if you're going to edit the video later, it doesn't matter. So basically, you can control the experience. You can control every second of the experience,
Yeah.
which is the best thing. And then there is no, and then sky is the limit, right? Your audio presentation or the video presentation, you can have 1 cameras, you can have 5 cameras, you can have 10 cameras and a drone. And you can do everything you want. I mean, depends on what is the inclination, what is your initiative.
Yeah.
So those are the good things of
Yeah.
and the other best thing I would say is that this is increasing the viewer base of Carnatic music, which, as is the case with all classical art forms, comparatively niche as compared to pop,
Mm.
and
Mm.
that's how it is. So
Yeah.
for such an ecosystem, it's always going to increase your viewer base, and people who were who weren't on social media before have been forced to come and have presence in social media, on social media, because of the pandemic.
Yeah.
So a lot of people who earlier would not be on Facebook or would not be accessing YouTube are now doing that.
Yeah.
So you're projecting your content to a bigger audience.
Mm. Mm. Mm.
That's the definite plus point. Now coming to where the online the the online concerts have a restriction is that two things. One is so much content is now being generated every day, right?
Yeah.
Because the internet is so democratic. You can Facebook, you can just create a Facebook page in 5 minutes, right?
Yeah.
So there is a lot of content.
Yeah.
There is so much content coming in from everywhere, coming in from everyone's homes now.
Yeah. Yeah.
That first of all, you're too spoiled for choice, and you have to because we have only 24 hours. I mean, 24 minus 8 hours of sleep is normally for normal people. Apart from that, you got your 16 hours, in
Yeah.
which only a certain amount of time can be devoted for consumption of content.
Yeah.
And then you have to then it's the making the decision is then the issue. Like, you have so much to, and that always keeps weighing on your mind. Oh, I have to watch so much stuff. So then that affects two things. So one is the attention span of people on Instagram or Facebook anyway is less,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? Because you just keep scrolling and you just keep scrolling. The whole point of TikTok is that is it's kind of
Totally.
it's kind of playing on the fact that the attention span of a person on social media is very less. So
Yeah.
Vines and TikToks, that's the whole point. So it's the same thing here also. So you have a 1 hour concert, and how many people listen to the entire 1 hour, right?
Yeah.
Very, very frank question that I
Yeah.
ask myself. Not I mean, I, I'm not broadcasting this to anyone. So what do you do then to effectively? So again, now finally it comes down to about delivering an experience. That's it. End of the day, it's not
Yeah.
about, hey, I got so many views, you got so many. No, as far as the art form is concerned, what is the experience? Because that's going to determine how many people are going to indulge and consume. What is the experience you're delivering?
Yeah. Yeah.
So the immediate question is, putting in full concerts on Facebook or YouTube, how effective is it towards experience?
Mm.
Is definitely a thing we have to think about. I'm not saying that it's not effective or it is effective. I need to do a proper someone needs to do a proper statistical study. I mean, take marketing insights and check out those Google Analytics things and try to understand what is happening. Of course, use technology. But apart from that, this is something we have to think about. So then what works? You take most rap or pop videos that come out, Now suppose Maroon 5 puts out a new video. It'll be 5 minutes max,
Yeah.
maximum 5 minutes
Yeah.
or 6 minutes. And unless they are putting up, DIY videos of sugar in which they crash weddings, that's different. People like that content, but I'm sorry. I don't know if you're aware of Maroon 5 and you listen
I
to them, but
love
yeah.
them. They're one of my
Anyway,
favorite
so
bands.
oh, awesome, awesome, awesome. So and even like girls like you, songs like that, they have two videos, and all the videos are they're short and
Yeah.
they're gripping, and they're extremely well made content. And they're, I mean, think of production aspects. Now just take girls like you. It is such an innovative way of photography, right? That guy is just coming around like a lazy Susan,
Yeah.
and that's just happening. And
Yeah.
there's a lot of transition happening, and it's just simply beautiful to watch.
Yeah.
So now when we talk about videos, now basically now Carnatic concerts are videos. So what is the visual experience, what is the oral experience, right? So these are all things we have to think about, is what I feel.
Yeah.
should we
No,
start should should we start making videos rather than publishing concerts, right?
that's a
What
very,
is the right?
mm, yeah. Yeah. Very valid point. I think there's a
So
little lag between me and you. So sorry, it looks like I'm cutting you off, but I'm not. I'm actually stopping
I know,
later.
yeah,
But
I understand, yeah, yeah.
uh, yeah.
So that's what this is. And so this is something that we have to think about, because it's been 9 months now, and a lot of people have been doing a lot of things,
Mhm.
and a lot of different kind of content is coming out, kinds of content, and that is great to see, because everybody is now being innovative.
Yeah.
and trying to understand how they can make the most of it. So that's great. But then that has to keep happening, and we have to come to a point where good quality in terms of both content and production is appreciated today. So you have to make use of that. People
Yeah.
like watching, at least I love watching well produced videos where there are different camera angles, there are a zoom in, zoom outs, there are fades, there are black and white sections. They are
Yeah.
catching those small moments that occur between artists, that one moment of magic that happens, these things.
Yeah.
I many times find myself doing this with videos, right? There'll be some 4 seconds of content that I love, and I'll just be, watching those four seconds because this is so beautiful to watch, right? So, are we going to curate that visual plus oral experience?
Yeah.
That's what we have to think about.
And do
And
you think
and and
that,
it, yeah, go on,
so
yeah.
let me, do you think that's easy to do for Carnatic music, given that, it's actually a very traditional form, and maybe not a lot of people are open to it, but what you're talking about makes so much more sense, right? Like, this is the way you're going to reach the younger audience, or like just be able to engage people more, because right now I think that's what's important. Like, because even with, like, webinars, like, so many people have this Zoom fatigue now because there's so many webinars and nobody wants to be attending all of that. So in now it's like a challenge. How do you stand out in this space, right? Because no matter how good you
Right.
are, if your content is not good, people will be like, okay, there's another one that I can watch, and skip and share, because you're not there at a concert sitting and watching. So how do you make yourself saleable at this point, and how do you think Carnatic music has to adapt to this scenario?
Very, very valid question, and I think all of us are wrestling with it at this point of time. And we don't have a consistently viable solution, because for many people the art form is a living,
Yeah.
right? I mean, for many people. And what happens is, good, well produced videos require budget and a lot of things. And if you want to, and so if there are 100 concerts happening every day,
Mm-hmm.
how much effort is might go down into curating the experience for every concert is very, I don't know, I think it's very dicey, I would say, because the focus then at some point will go into, okay, because see, the important part here at the end of the day is you have to be steeped in Carnatic music, whatever you do.
Yeah.
So the
Yeah.
production always has to be a layer.
Mm-hmm.
It can never be the real thing.
Mm-hmm.
You have a beautifully produced video, and if the content is not steeped in rich Carnatic music, then there's no point of it. So now, where do I put my focus? Should it be uh, aiming to sing the Bhairavi or the Mukhari well and nail those phrases, or think about how that camera shot will be going well with this, right?
Yeah.
I'm saying, so there might be a split in focus. So then for every curated video, there are so many dimensions of effort that need to be put in. So
Yeah.
I think it's a lot of effort. But I think there are organizations like Mad Rasana, like Indian Raga, and
Mm-hmm.
First Edition Arts. They have been doing a great job of curating well-produced content. I love watching their videos. And of late, I think the Federation of City Sabhas and Kala Kendra and the Music Academy Madras and all the organizations who have been working towards putting together a memorable season for us, for the audience, and for the artists during the pandemic. They've also they've done a remarkable job of curating content. And to say that, I mean, this is the first time they have been they are facing this kind of an issue, and they were up for it, and they kind of managed to put something together. So I
Yeah.
think that itself is coming, I mean, that itself is navigating the curve to a certain extent. But then
Mm-hmm.
you always have to keep thinking about what next. And I think definitely we have to get to a point where, I mean, see, Carnatic music being a niche field may not have the viewership of the pop, but can we make that content as attractive as pop is made?
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
in terms of making videos, etc., etc. And the thing is, I think not many people think about it because, again, the focus is then the always the focus has to be the Carnatic music steeped in tradition, and
Yeah.
the basics of the Carnatic experience should not be lost.
Yeah. I
So
agree.
I think it's just fair that people have been focused more on that. I think it's just fair. It's just that in the 2000s and the 2010s and now in the 2020s, the YouTube fad and how curating 5-minute videos for the audience. And I mean, now, for example, Shape of You has the most number of views in the world, I think right now it's in billions. So
Mm-hmm.
what is it that brings the audience to watch those videos so many times? So can we should we even think about that? I mean, first of all, the question is, do we need that?
Mm-hmm.
Do we need that? And then if we do, then how do we go about it? That's what I
Yeah.
feel.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a very interesting angle, I think, to approach. And I'm sure a lot of people will have a lot of opinions around this. It might be interesting to pose these questions to some of our other artists on CarnaticON also, and see, what the
Yeah.
response would be. But yeah, I mean, I think obviously we're all adapting to the new normal and trying to figure things out. But I guess have you been like learning music online for a bit because you were in Bombay and you had some teachers here, or was it only in person when you were coming for your
So it
holidays?
was it was always it was always in person for me. I have never gone through the process of online learning, online teaching, at least for
Mm-hmm.
music. So that
Yeah.
experience is completely new to me. The physical presence is what I'm used to, and
Yeah.
and in some ways it's also what I prefer. I think that's a bias. I'm sure it's a bias, but I think
Yeah.
that's what I prefer. But uh, we can't do anything right now about that because everything is online.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
teaching all also will be online, and I think this is now the livelihood for a lot of people, for a lot of teachers. This is the way of reaching out. So I
Yeah.
think then it's only for it's only for the good of the community that it's a thing that we can teach online. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Have you ever taught kids before, or you're just performing at the moment?
Yeah, I'm just learning at the moment. to put it to put it very frankly, I don't find myself in a space where I can start teaching, because many times when I think about teaching, I feel, hey, I need to practice more myself. I need to put in more hours, and that's the end of that train of thought. So I haven't ventured out, but if the necessity, or if I think if the interest arises, I think that's more about it. If the
Yeah.
interest arises, I'll surely do it. Yeah.
Yeah, nice, nice. We're glad we connected with you. So like randomly we like found you. So I'm like really excited to see kind of how we can work together in the future and, collaborate with you. And because I think CarnaticON is new, it's fresh, it's exciting. So there's lots of things that can be done. I'm sure Archana will think
Yes.
of something to do, and we hope to rope you in that. So before I let you go, Aditya, I would love it if you could just sing again for us. It was amazing and I want to listen to more. So
Sure, sure.
just before I let you go, I'm going to have you sing again, please.
Absolutely. Sure. Yeah. रमणी मनीषायणे Ramani Mani Shayane Tavarati Lalasa Hridaya Ramani Mani Shayane Tavarati Lalasa Hridaya Samayam Bahubadhaya Sakhi Samayam Bahubadhaya Sakhi Samayam Bahubadhaya Sakhi Samayam Bahubadhaya Sakhi Sarasi Ruhana Sarasi Ruhana Sarasi Ruhana Bhaga Ri Sa Sa Ri Pa Ri Ga Ma Ni Ga Ri Pa Ma Ga Ma Ga Ri Ma Pa Ni Ga Ni Pa Ni Sa 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 Ni Sa Ri Ga Ni Ri Sa Ni Ni Pa Ma Ga Ri Ma Pa Ni Sa Ri Ga Ri Ni Ri Sa Sa Ni Dha Ni Pa Ni Ma Pa Ni Sa Ri Ni Su Ma Sa Ya Ka Ni Dura Avamadava Sudaki Atidinam Sumasayaka Dura Ava Ava
Very nice.
That is
Thank
a
you
that
so
is a
much.
composition of Maharaja Swati Tirunal, a Padavarnam in the Ragam Karnataka Kapi.
Oh, very nice. Very nice. Thank you so much for your time, for jumping onto this so spontaneously, for being very open and kind of, being gung ho and ready to do anything. So I'm really excited to kind of get you on board in some form or the other. I'm sure Archana will take care of that. But I really appreciate your time today, Aditya. Thank you so much. This has been a great start for CarnaticON's first happy hour in the new year. And we hope the rest continue to go like this. So thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you so much, Yamini. I was thrilled to be a part of when I got to know that I could be a part of this, and I've just enjoyed myself today morning, and I've said a lot of stuff, very
No, a lot of useful
very
stuff.
frankly, and I think yeah, if you say so. Thanks for having me, and I'm really looking forward to more collaborations and more engagement with Karnatic on in the future.
For sure, for sure. We're definitely going to work together at some point, and we're really excited to have made this connection. So, once again, thank you so much for your time. And for everyone watching, this was Aditya Madhavan joining us today in our very first edition of Happy Hour for 2021. And we'll catch you next Friday with yet another exciting, talented upcoming artist. Until then, this is Yamini signing off. Thank you very much, you guys. Take care. Bye, Aditya. Have a good day.
Bye bye. Have a good day. Have a great year. See ya.
Thank you. You too. Bye.